What's up, guys? Week 7 recap here. I got my fresh cap on. So let's get this show on the road. Starting with a reminder, we are going to be on auction system for this week for on waivers. I've talked to a couple of people already about polling between the auction and the idea I posted on the forums, because a lot of people have been voicing their concerns about that. I'm personally going to vote for the auction system, but we can't ignore the fact that other people want that as a possibility. Yeah, so that's that. Let's start up with the matchups. Fuck you, Gumby versus 3 Johnsons and a Woodhead. Starting with my matchup again. I took out Bram in an important divisional game. Thought I was in some trouble with 2 of my running backs out, Cedric Benson and Ben Jarvis, but DeMarco Murray stepped up to say the least. He had a huge day. 31 points, and he broke the rushing record for the Cowboys franchise. Let's take a look at his 91-yard run. Yep, pretty sweet. Bram had a pretty average week, 103 points. Continuing to get a little production out of Chris Johnson. Caught a bad break with Santana Moss, broke his hand in that game, but his QBs had a good week. I'm taking on Gallagher next week, week 8, and Bram takes on Zach to claim the territory of Via Marcella. Alright, next matchup. More problems versus Run DMC, and I know it's getting old, and I know I said it last week, but poor Zach is projected for 156 points at one point. Then McFadden goes down with an ankle injury, and he didn't live up to his lofty projection. McGahee and Stafford also go down in that week. Forte still put up 24 points, and wasn't enough. Cam Newton held the torch for Widges with 26 points, and he continues to have a great season. Let's take a look at one of the sickest QB scrambles this year. Alright, Zach takes on Bram next week, and Widge faces off Gersh in week 8. Alright, next matchup is Holy Tits versus Breeze Knees. Probably one of the funnier football moments in this matchup. Gersh was at my house for the 1 o'clock games, and we were on the Red Zone channel. So the channel pops up. Marshawn Lynch is on the screen with his hands in his face, towel over his head. He was out for the game with back spasms. So bad break there for Gersh. So we keep watching. So we go on ESPN. They didn't release any information until the game started, so there's nothing you could do there. So we keep watching. First quarter, there's a game update for the Buccaneers game. He has Ernest Graham, and Gersh sarcastically says, "Oh, watch Ernest Graham be injured, not for the game." Sure enough, the screen cuts to him falling on the turf. He's out for the game with a torn Achilles, I think. So bad break for Gersh there. But Dev had a good week, 33 points from Breeze. So let's take a look at Dev's leading scorer in Breeze, airing it out against the Colts D. Okay, Gersh takes on Widge next week, and Dev takes on Matt. Alright, next matchup is Fred and the Shitbums versus Poet and He Knows It. Crap. Oh, this is right. Alright, next matchup is Fred and the Shitbums versus Poet and He Knows It. Gallagher was receiving some heckling on the forums for possibly having the lowest scoring week, but Matt comes out of nowhere and puts up 55.6 points, which is the lowest scoring week in league history. 1.4 points less than Widges last year in week 5, so that's no good. You know you're in trouble when you have Curtis Painter and Curtis Painter's in your lineup and Jonathan Sorcerer leading scorer. You know you're not in good shape. But Andrew put up a solid week based around Arian Foster at a monster game, like 40 points. Michael Bush also put up 11, which is kind of surprising. Well, McFadden got injured that game, so he got more carries and stuff. Yeah, let's check out some Arian Foster highlights since he clearly was the best player in this matchup. Alright, Andrew takes on Tony in next week's matchup, and Matt takes on Devin. Alright, next is Wild Wild West at Hey Jordy, It's Your Birthday. And I wasn't sure which was the queer name, Hey Jordy, It's Your Birthday, or Flaming Homosexual, but regardless, Tony was the victor with only 96 points. Colston put up 22 points to help Tony's team, and Matt Castle chipped in his usual 2.2 points, so props to him. If it wasn't for Ben Roethlisberger's sexual assault of the Arizona defense, Gallagher probably would have had the worst week in league history, or it would have been at least close to Matt. Yeah, I guess with Wes Welker not dropping 30 burgers every week, Gallagher's team is pretty mediocre, so find that out. Besides Ben, nobody scored above 10 points on Gallagher's team. Witten had 9.5. But let's check out some highlights to sum up this matchup. Alright, Tony takes on Ellinger next week, and I'm facing Gallagher, week 8. Alright, that's all for this week's recap. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free if you want to text me. If you want to come watch the games on Sunday, my house is usually available. Just make sure you contact me, because it might not be, and I don't want you to show up with no one there. So, anyway, check the LM poll for another vote. But this week, remember, it's auction waivers. I don't want to hear, it'd probably be Tony, no offense, but bitching about how everyone put in money for the waivers this week. Also, get your $20 to myself or Ellinger so he can pay you when you win. Alright, later guys. Good night, Canada.